spring is definitely in the air.
I just pulled down a weather report, and it is supposed to snow tomorrow. It's definitely snowing.
Welcome back to another Naked and Afraid. We are in beautiful Greenville, Maine. We're just to the southwest of the Namacanta area where a lot of our previous videos have been. And as you can see, this is just an absolutely beautiful place to be. We're going just a real quick hike, just an in and out for today. We're going up Little Bear Mountain. It's going to be about a mile in. It's not real far. It is about 4:45. Sunset's going to be around 7-ish. Spring is definitely in the air. It's been in the 40s and creeping up to about 50 during the day. So spring is in the air, but as you can see, it's not quite yet on the ground. Lows for tonight are supposed to dip into the upper 20s. Won't be anything too crazy. But it's getting late, we gotta get on the trail. So I'm going to grab this big bag that I got, toss it on. We gotta hike up this road just a little bit to get to the trailhead, and then we're in business. Now since it's been so warm, I did a couple of local hikes the last few days, and the trails haven't been real deep snow. There's no risk of post holing or anything. I did bring snowshoes, but I left them in the truck. I really don't like snowshoes, but I do have some micro spikes on, so I'm kind of expecting this to be some hard packed snow. Guess we'll see when we get out, won't we? Approaching the sign up here. Once again, my long history of not saying the right thing. We're not camping on Little Bear Mountain, it's a Little Moose Mountain. What are you gonna do? My wife was right, what am I gonna say? According to that sign, we're gonna have to make sure we yield to trucks. All right, this right back here, that is Big Moose Mountain. We're tucked right in here in a few hills with Little Moose. There's a lot of small mountains that surround Moosehead Lake. I'll tell you, there's no shortage of moose tracks around here. These ones are pretty old. There's some more up here, and they've been darting back and forth across the trail for the whole way up so far. We're still on this snowmobile trail. I was expecting to turn off a little bit quicker, but shouldn't be too much longer, and we can get up to the junction and get on the actual Little Moose Trail. Who knows, with the looks of some of these tracks, we'll actually be following along with some little moose. Well, 30 minutes or so into it, and when I was looking at the map, let me show you here. So, get out of the way, bag. So this is where we parked, right here. Then this is the trailhead for Little Moose, where we're going. So I thought when I was planning this that we'd be able to park here rather than here. So we just walked up to this, which is a road in the spring and summer, but in the winter it's just snowmobile trail. So we hiked up here. So now we gotta hike down. There's Big Moose Pond. There's a couple campsites there we can check out. And then there's Little Moose Pond. Just over on this side, there's supposed to be some pretty decent lookouts here and here. So we'll see. I was planning on coming up here, but since we had 1.2 miles or 1.5 miles already, and we've only got about 90 minutes left of light, we might just camp here. Especially, remember how I said, oh, I didn't bring my snowshoes, it's gonna be nice and packed down. Well, if you can see the blue blaze on the tree here, this is our trail, and we are gonna break it. So that in mind also, I think we're gonna go ahead, probably stay at that first one. It's pretty, I mean, I walked through here, it's still pretty, I'm not sinking down, I'm not post-holing up to my knee or anything. So all that warm weather I think has packed it down. So I think we'll be okay. So I'm gonna grab a drink, send a couple texts real quick, and Shaplowski, we will be back on the trail. On the way out, all I did for my socks, because I knew it was gonna be warm, is I just wore my regular hiking socks. The only thing is there's not much padding. There's a spot in the back of my boot that's really rubbing it raw. So, I'm gonna slap on a little bit of mole tape, just like a big thick band-aid. We'll stick that on and that'll get us to camp without any nasty blisters back there. In the boot, if anyone's interested, this is the Vask Snow Bourbon. Thing's awesome. I've had it out in 0-degree weather and just fine, even when you're just standing around not doing anything. Real good boot. Whew. Say goodbye to the trail sign, which we should have left that from an hour ago, but it's alright. So we're definitely sinking down some here. More than I'd like, but it's not too bad. Luckily we haven't got too far to go. I was thinking that we might see some people out here with us. It's not the case, unless they flew in. It's possible. Be a good time to flash back to, nah, I don't need any snowshoes. So, there are some footprints in the snow. Something came through here in the reasonably recent past. Yeah, I should have brought the snowshoes. Coming down this little ridge here, and I sunk in right up to my boys. My boys don't like getting in the snow. Should have brought the snowshoes. Sorry. Bottom of this hill is the pond. Campsites are at the pond. So I reckon we are almost there. Alright, there's some water out here if we need it. And hopefully we can safely get across this bridge. Not a whole lot of room to work, but we got it. Whew. Did I mention that I probably should have brought the snowshoes? Let's keep going. We've come to another bridge here, but this thing is, you can see the wood on bottom. That's like 3.5, 4 feet of snow, and it's really narrow across the top. I took a few steps out and decided against that one. Then we're going to try to come down right here. Water's not very deep there. And as I learned last time I slept out in the cold, I stepped in a little stream just about to the top of my boots, completely submerged for probably a full 3 seconds while I got my balance and got back up the other side. Not a drop of water came in. Pretty impressed by these vast snow burns. Yeah, buddy. All right, let us ford the mighty river. I'm sure there's a little ice shelf down here that I'm going to be stepping on. Found it. Kind of crashed everything in there. I think I might go right over here and go for the rocks. Well, now I'm here. Alright. I'm gonna set the camera down for a minute to get up over this. Ooh, buddy. They should come up with something so you don't sink down into the snow. Some kind of device, some sort of shoe that you could wear in the snow. On the trail again, going places that I've never been before. Not seeing any faces, I'm out in the middle of the woods. Here, let's go check this out. Pretty cool for us, not for the tree, but for scale of size. I think it's pretty big. Just like this hole that I'm standing in. Whew. You know, they could even call them snowshoes. That makes so much sense. Huh. Hey. Oops. Cool. So I think we're at Big Moose Pond. Yeah. So we're gonna stay right here. Moose Mountain Inn. That's probably 2.5 miles from here. So there's another. Whew, man. Whew. There's another trailhead there at Moose Mountain Inn. Be more fun in the summer. Alright, well, let's run up the little hill here. We'll see what we got for a campsite. Set up camp and relax for a little bit. I didn't plan on getting this hot. Luckily I've got a full set of dry clothes to sleep in, so we'll be fine there. But right now, boy, I am soaked. Alright, let's get going. Alright, sorry. Alright, let's get going. What's really nice is since we crossed over those streams, I haven't really seen any big animal tracks. Tons of rabbits and stuff, but no deer, no moose, and no bear. Alright. Hey, we made it! Woo! Big Moose Pond campsite. Alright. So, nice in the general area here. I don't see any widowmakers. I'm gonna go ahead, drop the excuse me, drop the pack here. We'll take a little look around. Alright, what can we find? So there's the official sign. Looks like there's maybe a tent pad back here. I won't lie to you, I was kind of hoping for a picnic table. Nice little spot here, if we had a tent. Privy's back up in there. Very nice spot back here too. What's this? Oh, did I just find the picnic table? No. Yes. Look at that. Oh, damn. Well, you can see, here's my foot. There's the top of the picnic table. It's nice I found one, I guess. Don't reckon we'll be able to use it. There's some nice spots back here. I'd kind of like something back over closer to the lake though. Back where we started. I'll run back there, see if we can find a place for a campsite. Just scoping out some trees back where we first came in for a place to set up a hammock. Look down and I noticed one of my micro spikes, crampons, falling off somewhere. I don't know how. It was picking up a lot of ice, compacting the snow, and that was sticking to the spikes. It's terrible. It felt like lifting cement. So before we get to set up, we're losing light fast too. Before we set up, I'm gonna run back a little ways, see if I can't find it. Hopefully I can do that before nightfall, so I can get back here and we can set up all the gear together. Stay tuned. Someday I'm gonna have a trip where one, I say the names of everything right, and two, I don't have any gear malfunctions. Haven't done that yet. Oh! There it is! Yay! Oh, like you can see here, check it out. When I say that it was covered in ice, oh, that's nothing. It was pulling up before snowballs or ice balls the size of my entire boot. Just tell you, take like 4 steps and then you're totally gassed. Stop, kick your shoes off, do it again. But I didn't have to go too far back. We're just back at this sign. So I just gotta go up over this little ridge. I mean, that wasted all of 2 minutes. Whew. Before we set anything up though, I wanted to run down to the edge of the water here. Like I said, it's been upper 40s for the last little while. So I don't want to go out on the water much. But man, this is a pretty spot. So I found me a couple trees. This guy right here, and this guy right here that I'm standing next to. I find for me about 8 or 9 paces between trees. Seems to be about the right distance for my hammock. And this was about 8.5. So now I've got to go through and stomp some of this out. It'd be so neat if I had like really big feet or a way to mash down a big area all at once. Man, someone should come up with something like that. So we'll keep walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we'll get this done. So let's get into the bag goodies. Here's the tarp. Normally I'd set that up first, but I'm not going to. If it were bad weather, I would set that up first, but it's not bad weather. Although, I just pulled down a weather report, and it is supposed to snow tomorrow. Not a lot. Might be walking out in an extra ½ inch. Yay! Alright, so, for this trip, see, there's the picnic table for this side. Can't really see it, but it's there. Alright, so for this trip, I brought along my Dutch cinch bug suspension, and the reason I bought this is it's really easy to deal with when you got gloves on your hands or cold hands. And it's got this little guy on it, and you put the continuous loops of your hammock around that. Keep following holes. String that up nice and high, and I'm going to give this some slack. I had it out last weekend, and that was quite a story, I'll tell you that in a little bit. Alright, give it plenty of slack, so when I get the hammock out, I can hook it up between these trees, and I don't have to worry about the hammock hitting the ground. Can always tighten it afterwards. Alright, strap number 2. Yeah, so last weekend I wanted to test the winter gear out. I've only had it out once, and that was in similar conditions, but last weekend it was hold on. Last weekend it was gonna be 0 degrees, between 0 and 6 depending on which way the wind was blowing. So I thought I'd test out the new gear. Bought a winter sock from Dutch, and I was gonna throw that over my quilts and see how I did. So I planned to go up to Rangeley, up on the Appalachian Trail. I was gonna go up to Piazza Rock. It's only like a 2-mile hike in from Route 4. Just about the same length hike we had today here. So I got all the stuff packed up, drove the 90 minutes or so it takes to get there, and the parking area hadn't been plowed all winter. In that area of Route 4, there's no parking on the shoulder, so I had no place to put the truck, so I couldn't hike in. All right, I'll get back to the story in just a minute. This is my hammock. I made this hammock. I think my foot end is yellow. I don't know. I'm gonna put it on that side. I think it is because I pee out of the lower end of my body, and I have gray on the head side of my body because I'm starting to get some gray hair. I think that was how I remembered it. Alright, so we'll hook this bad puppy up. Whew, it's starting to get chilly now that I'm not hiking. Alright. That is about right, but we are way low, which is okay. Just slide this toggle up and take out the slack and push it whichever way you want to go. One of these ends is twisted. That's going to have to go higher. Higher still. Let's see. Nope. Almost landed on my ass. All right. Now we're very high. Let's move this up just a little bit. That way I can put some slack back in, because that's too high now. Whoop. Problem is this webbing stretches a little bit. My summer kit, I use Kevlar straps, which are awesome. All right. Whew.
Alright, I think this is going to do the trick. I can pretty much touch the ground. Alright, so far so good. What I usually do is hang this the right way for starters, so it's not all twisted. But you'll see like Derek Hansen's video and a lot of others talking about drip lines on the hammock. What I usually do is just take whatever I have left over from my suspension and I'll knot it up again down at the end of my continuous loops to make a water break that way. And then I'll tie another one up here. I've got the extra strap anyway, so might as well use it. Plus that gets it right up and out of the way. Get some snow off there. Make us a knot. Not that we're gonna get any rain tonight, but I'm just showing you what it does. So there. And we'll put this up here. Like so. And this also functions, I don't know if you know, but this is a traditional Maine moose trap. So if a moose comes flying through, he can catch this on this, and I can just drag behind him. Be the quickest way to get out of here. I don't know. I'm just talking noise. All right, so let's run back over here yonder. I probably should just bring my stuff over there. I will do that in a minute. All right, so let's dig through some of this garbage here. Not garbage. This is my gear. Sleeping fleece, pillow, yeah buddy. Some sleeping sweatpants. A whole bunch more sleeping clothes. And this is my underquilt. Let's go sit. Actually, let me grab both of my quilts while I'm here. So, I know you can't see me on both cameras right now, but how you guys doing? I'm starting to get a little chilly, if I'm going to be honest with you. Can't wait to get this set up and get some of my warm clothes on. Oh, darn. See, there's a picnic table my foot just went through. Again. Well, not through the picnic table, but through the spot between the top and the bottom. All right. So this is the Hammock gear 0 degree. And the way this goes is brown on the head side, because I used to have a lot of brown hair, and black first gets stuck to my gaiters, but the black side, the black hook here, comes down on this side where my feet are, because my feet are often dirty after hiking. All right, throw that right in the middle, and we'll let that loft up. Next, we'll take this and just stuff it in our pocket for now. Here is the Hammock gear top quilt. Now, I don't know how she does it, but my wife, seen her on a few of these, she'll take these out in the dead of summer. It'll be like 70 or 80 degrees out, and she'll use these at night. Blows my mind. All right, so we'll just stuff that bad boy in there. All right, and we'll let that fluff up all nice and good. Come to think of it, I shouldn't have made a blue hammock and got a blue underquilt. It'd be hard to tell the difference between the two. All right, next, run back over the deadly. I gotta be careful, man. I want to break my leg in there. This is not the place I want to break my leg. I mean, I don't know if there's any place I want to break my leg, but... All right, here is my Dutch sock. And if any of you were wondering how much all this weighs, I don't know. It's not bad. I mean, I carried it out here without too much problem. If I had to guess, fully loaded with food, water, and fuel, 25? No, it can't be that much. I don't know. I'll weigh it when I get home and put the total here. Here. I don't know. So here's the Dutch sock, which really just encapsulates the whole hammock and underquilt. And this, in my mind, will help compensate for any improperly adjusted underquilts. For me, I always dial the quilts in at home. I've got a spot in my barn where I can hang the hammock up. So I'll set these up exactly how I'm going to do it on the trail. And I'll have a second person look, make sure that the ends close up right when I lay in it, and also take a good look to make sure the down is distributed throughout. So if you've got a place where you can set it up before you go out, backyard, patio, whatever you got. So for this, we just bunch it up. And I think that's on the wrong way. And we just stick it through here. Well, of course my drip line's gonna be in the way now. All right, there. Now we can hang it back up on here. And you guys can tell on that camera over there, but hopefully nothing touched the ground. So then this just goes, slides down over this. One, it's going to help keep the underquilt snug against the hammock, but it's also going to stop any wind and airflow from getting in there. So over here, there's just a little elastic with a toggle to button that side up, and there's one up on that end that I'll close up when it's time to sleep. All right. So one last thing, and that's in here. These are no. Could have sworn that hand worked too. These are little, but there's these little clips here. What you do with those is you set them on your ridge line, and then you bring the suspension line, the one that actually runs the length of it, you run that through here, and you throw it up on, and this just snugs it up a little bit better against the bottom of the underquilt. I had one for both sides once upon a time. All right, so this is the winter setup. Like I said, I've had it out once in weather like this before, and I was a touch chilly. But one, I think it was from improper underquilt setup, and two, I went to bed cold, which is never good. All right, so let's go grab the camera here. Hey guys, check it out. Got two cameras now. Summertime, I've got some tent spikes, some tent pegs, tarp pegs, whatever you want to call them. They're right here. There's some nice Vargo titanium ones. But I don't want to risk losing these in the snow. They weigh nothing. I don't even know why I brought them, to be honest. So I'm just gonna use some sticks instead. You just wrap the line around here and then bury it in the snow. And there's plenty of that, so let's get that done. So this is just some Zing It line that I put on here. This is a little bit of a shock cord, and it just helps keep it tension on the tarp through the night. So I'm just gonna wrap these a few times here, that's fine. Stick it in there, step on it, and there we go. We'll come over here, and we'll do the same. This Superfly is a really nice tarp. It is now my wife's summer tarp, And I have the Hammock gear Cuban Hex. I like it a lot, but this is 10 feet wide and that one is only 8 feet wide. So, well, that sucks. Oh, there was that other hammock clip. Starting to lose light. Better hurry, I'm afraid of the dark. Alright, that should be on there now. Okay, stick back. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Put a reasonable amount of tension on it. See, I really like this tarp. It's relatively inexpensive. Or I say relatively, it's still like 150 bucks, 140 bucks or something. But you get a lot of tarp for it. And when I when I attempted the Grafton loop and did the 1/2 of it, I had this tarp with me in just a crazy downpour. It rained all night, which was nice because it's a nice sound. I like going to sleep to rain, but this thing kept me perfectly dry. I cooked under it. I kind of lived under it for 10 or 12 hours. It was real nice. The only thing I don't like about it is when you try to pack it up, since it's still nylon, it kind of holds air in. So when you try to pack it up, it just turns into a giant balloon. You'll see that tomorrow. Oh, come on. Just turns into a balloon and it sucks air in the inside. So it's hard to put the snakeskins on. Alright, now, if we check out inside, what I'll show you here is all these clips that are on these doors. You can clip them in the middle like this, and it keeps the doors out of the way for nicer weather. We'll just take those puppies off. What it does with a shock cord is it connects right there, and this one will connect over here, and that's gonna, if you step back and look, that's gonna block the wind tonight. All right, so I am starting to get hungry, so I'm going to pick up my mess here while there's still some light and cook some food. On tap for dinner tonight is some smoked 3-bean chili from a company called Good to Go. They are based right here in Maine. Never tried anything from them before, and usually I have a rule not to try new food on the trail because you really need to eat stuff. But I've got some ramen as a backup and tons of junk food, and it's only 2 miles to get back out, so I think I'll be fine. But I brought the alcohol stove because I didn't finish my story from last weekend. Yeah, so nowhere to park out at Rangeley. Nowhere to park out at Rangeley on the Appalachian Trail, so I couldn't hike out there. The nearest place for my truck was a real sketchy little turnout a few miles down the road, and I didn't want to do that. So I still want to test my gear, so I went back to my old man's place. He's got 40 acres or something, and I went out in the woods and I threw up the hammock and got ready. Well, I brought out a Coleman white gas stove. No idea what it is, but I'll put a model or picture or something there. I'd used it half a dozen times around the house, just testing it out, getting familiar with it. But come about 8 o'clock at night after dusk, I go to make some dinner. Follow the instructions, pump it, light it, and after I lit it, you're supposed to pump it 10 more times, 20 more times, I can't remember offhand. So I was pumping it up, and one of the seals must have went, because I went to go pump, and just shot fuel out the side of it that caught on fire. My glove was on fire. I really didn't know what was going on, so I just kind of stood there for a minute watching my hand be on fire. But then I stood back for a minute and I watched it, kind of hoping it would die down, but it didn't. It just got worse. So I went over with my winter couch right here that unfolds, and I just went and I fanned it until it went out.
So that stove is not coming back out because it's out to kill me. So I have my alcohol stove out this time, and I've got my bottle of alcohol in my pocket here, warming up. So I'm going to go set everything up, and we will cook this beautiful smoked 3-bean chili. I figured since we're here, we are going to eat at the picnic table. Plus, I found another part of the edge there. Plus, it's far enough away from the hammock that I'm not going to set that on fire. Far enough away from my rest of my gear, I won't set that on fire. There's my little pad to sit on. Food, rehydrator, some gloves, and the old cook kit. This is a little plate all set somewhere you can see it, hopefully. And this is part of the priming pan for the stove. I really like my alcohol stoves. They're nice and quiet, don't take away from the rest of nature, but they aren't great in the cold. So this is the Trangia winter kit. It's a regular Trangia burner, but it's got this little base, and it's got a piece of cotton in there. You throw some alcohol on that, light that when it's like this, and it will preheat the stove so that you can cook with alcohol. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so that's good. I'll put a little out so that you can light it without setting your fingers on fire. Take the lid off. The nice thing about the Trangia too is you can simmer if you need to. We don't need to, but we could. Okay. Now I got a lighter here somewhere. Oh, that's going. Burn, baby, burn. I haven't checked the temperature recently, but it's not too cold. It can't be, what, 30 maybe, 35? So this should run just fine once it gets going. Alright, and let me go get some water. There it goes. Reflectix koozie, good for everything. And inside is the pot stand / windscreen. Which we'll add like so. And that is bloomin' nice. Alright, what do we need? 2.5 cups, 600 milliliters. There we go. So there's, I think, a cup. Yeah. And here is a little over 2. Set that aside. And now we set it on to boil. Okay, so it is officially headlamp weather, or headlamp lightness, darkness. Food is rehydrating in there. We'll have some food in 20 minutes. Let me open it up here. Let's see what we got. Oh man, look at that. Oh. I might add a little too much water, but we'll stir it up and give it a go. Holy moly. I don't know how much you can see of that. Looks pretty good. Pass the test. Way to go, good to go. Alright. This is great. Alright guys, I'm going to chow down. Let some devices charge for a little while longer. And it's 8 o'clock now. Probably going to eat. Pack the stuff up, get it under the tarp, and call it a night. I'll make sure I check back in before I do. We're getting there. It's almost time to crawl into that nice warm down cocoon. Alright, see you guys in a little bit. One more thing to show you before getting too late here. This is, I told you I had an Nalgene bottle. I filled this up with hot water just out of the tap. It's still warm now actually. And put it in this. That way hopefully I can keep it from freezing overnight, and I'll have some water for breakfast and for coffee. We are off to hang the bear bag. We're going to hang it right over here where we found that other campsite when we first got here. Well, it was a little further back. I don't know where exactly we'll hang it, but we'll find a spot out here somewhere. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. It's probably one of the saddest bear bag hangings I've ever done. But it's pretty far away from where we're sleeping. I think we'll be good. According to the thermometer here, it's just dropped below freezing, or it's right at freezing.
This video is gonna look horrible. There we go, I can blind myself. Whew! Alright, we are nice and snug up in the hammock. Haven't pulled the winter sock back yet because I am roasting. Well, it's a good day so far. Now it is time to crash, and we'll see you all in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It's about 20 past 5 or so. Gotta tell you, didn't feel an ounce of cold all night. It was actually too hot. For most of it, I had to take the underquilt right down. But if you can hear, it is definitely snowing. And it's snowing a lot more than I thought it was going to be. I can see clumps coming down off the end of the tarp here. And the wind has just been howling this morning. So I think the plan now, let's get the strobe light effect stopped. I think the plan for now is I'm going to get up. I think I'll just pack everything up and head out to the truck. We only got about 2 hours out, so if this is becoming more of a real storm, then we'll get out before it's too bad, since we don't have those things that you can put on your feet so you can walk on top of the snow that no one's invented yet. Then maybe we'll have some lunch back at the truck, or breakfast back at the truck. Like I said, it's a little after 5, so we're gonna pack it up. I don't know what the temperature is. I bet I can check that real quick though. Let's see what the temperature is. It's about 28 right now, or so. It's kind of down out of the way, but it's not much below freezing. Pack her up and start hiking out of here. It is now 6:15 in the morning. Did a real quick tear down. This was our campsite. As you can see, everything is now gone. Sitting right back there. So yeah, we're gonna book it out of here. The snow has kind of stopped, but it's coming down in spurts of rain, so that's awesome. I gotta tell you,
quite a bit easier going back with ready-made footsteps to step in. Well, this is kind of neat. I came across it. It almost looked like someone had tied it on. But no, just growing outside. Damn, Nation, you crazy. Being so cold this morning, the snow's nice and crunchy. It's not sticky like it was when I came in. But remember I said that my micro spikes were picking up big balls of ice? That's what I'm talking about. So every 5 steps I have to kick one of these off. Whew. Didn't have to do that this morning. This was a good time. So, one of the things I want to mention, when I hung my hammock last night, I'll try to point it out in the video, but the foot end of the hammock was lower than the head end. And this is bad. What happens is you end up sliding down in your hammock towards the foot end, and you're all scrunched up in a ball and you can't stretch out. So that happened to me last night. My own mistake. I know you're supposed to hang it higher, I just wasn't paying attention. Second thing, that winter sock from Dutch, I tried to slide it back and I couldn't get it past my butt. So it was taut against the ridge line and I was trying to pull it past my butt and it was just messing up the underquilt and moving all the down around. So I don't know if I was doing something wrong, if I gotta adjust my ridge line so it's not quite so saggy. I don't know. So I just left it around my feet and that was plenty. I was roasting all night. I was sweating for most of it. Just like at home, throw the top covers off and I'm good to go. All right, let's keep going, guys. I didn't notice it quite so much yesterday, probably because I was going downhill. I'm post holing like 8 inches on every step. Holy smokes. It is slow going. That's probably why someone invented a way to walk on top of the snow without going through it. People are clever. I don't think we're too much further from the junction with the logging road / snowmobile trail. Whew. So with that said, let's get there. Keep hearing a moose call up beyond this ridge here. He's pretty far away. I don't think we're going to see him. If we do, hopefully he shows no interest in us. Whew. Oh yeah. Nice downhill. Got Big Moose Mountain in the background. It's snowing / freezing rain. It's April 1st. Thank you, Mother Nature. Appreciate your joke. Your prank. And we're outside walking in the woods. This is it, right? This is the idea. Last night, after I crawled in the hammock and got ready to go, let alone my little mishap with hanging the foot out in the right spot. But one thing I really didn't expect was the absolute silence. You know, you go backpacking or camping in the spring, summer, fall, you've always got a little bit of wind, rustling leaves. You got chipmunks and mice and rabbits running around, scuffling stuff up, stepping on twigs. You've got birds chirping, you've got loons out in the water, you've got frogs. It's never silent. But last night, I don't know if I've ever experienced a silence like that. There was just no sound whatsoever. Occasionally there would be a wind gust, in a little more frequently than I would have expected. Some air traffic, a lot of jets going over here for some reason. But between those, just absolute calm. Not a sound that I wasn't making. It was really odd. And surprisingly, for me at least, I like to sleep at the house with a couple fans on for the white noise. It was really hard for me to sleep because it was so silent. It was really cool though. Don't get me wrong. Here they've got this the most soundproof room in the world. The University of Wisconsin, maybe? I don't know, I'll put it right there. But there's the urban legends that, you know, if you go in to the room that's completely isolated from sound and you can start to hear your own heartbeat, start to hear like the blood pumping through the vessels in your brain, well, the urban legend is that you'll go insane, or you'll go crazy. And people can't stand it for any more than 5 minutes. Well, I managed it for about 8 hours out here. No, it wasn't complete silence. It was something I wasn't expecting. My little girl, Crafty Carrie, you've seen her in a few videos. She is going on an overnight backpacking trip with some people in her class. She's going up to the Stratton Brook Hut up in Carabasset Valley by Flagstaff Lake. It's part of the Maine Hudson Trail system. But they're all going to hike in a couple miles and stay at the hut. When I say hut, it's like vacation quality log cabin in the woods. It's pretty nice. They cook you meals and everything. It's not terribly economical. Ourselves, holy smokes. Look at this print. That is freaking huge. So anyways, personally, I don't think it's terribly economical, because of course we've got all our backpacking gear and we're pretty used to it. But it's similar to the huts that you'll find in the White Mountains. Very similar system. Pay some money, you get a bunk and some food. It seemed like it'd be a fun way to go. Hike hut to hut, not have to carry all this stuff on the back. See if I can get a better shot. Carry all that stuff on your back. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. So thanks for coming along, everyone. This was a fun, nice little winter overnighter. Nothing crazy. No big mountains, big peaks, big mileage or anything. A good old time to get away, recharge the batteries. But as you may be able to see from this sign right here, we are back to the short little road hike to get back to the truck. So that is it for this one. So once more, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along. I appreciate you being here with me. Out here I am Father Goat, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Plus 100 internet points if you can tell me whose hat I'm wearing. Go.
just stick it through here. Well, of course my drip line's going to be in the way now. Edit that part out. Edit that part out. Make it look like you know what you're doing. Oh, shit, now it's on that one too.
Quick in and out. There we go, focus. Focus. I'm not really that blurry of a person, am I?